This is so good.
When the night comes, I drink a rum.
All right.
You like okay. That would be the perfect intro.
Yeah. Everybody around us.
Oh god, I'm gonna listen to that song. Okay.
I don't mean to buzzkill.
Sorry,
but
too much fun.
All right. All right. What's up, everybody? I'm your boy, the Cleaver, calling Andrew with Where's the Beef, episode 8, NXT Takeover Tampa and Wrestlemania 36. Tonight, I am joined by the elite of Aftermatch Wrestling. I have with me the wizard of no DQ, Mr. Whizfresh, Stefan Osborne. Stefan, how we doing, buddy?
Doing good. If you guys can't tell, I am here with my partner, the gentleman. We're just on two different Skypes because we can't fit on one screen. I love the man, but not that much. I'm not going to be under the show.
That's a little too early.
So we've got two
Social
Skypes going.
distancing.
You guys get a little bit of echo on this. Consider it a little bit of free production for you.
Yes,
Other
exactly.
than that, I'm glad to be on the show. I think this is my first my first time on Where's the Beef, so it's ought to be fun.
It is. And speaking of the gentleman, also representing What's NXT and the NXT party on Aftermatch Wrestling is the gentleman, Jerry Slaughter. How we doing, bub? It's been a while since you've been on my channel. It's good to have you both back.
I was on a chopping block once.
Yeah, but it's been a long time. That's right. It's been a long time. Yes. You both were at the same time. That's right. And returning to Where's the Beef, we have the simple man, Noah Foster. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Just getting used to working at home and just keeping my sanity over the complete bullshit that WWE is putting down our throats with WrestleMania. But I digress. And yeah, I'm feeling great. It's good to be back. This is my second time on Where's the Beef, and I'm happy to be with crew this time because last time it was just me and you. This is sure to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And last but not least, we have my good brother, the Dark Knight, Mr. Chris Willis. How we doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. It's good to be working with Stefan, Jerry, and the simple man Noah himself. I can't wait to discuss about some NXT Takeover and some WrestleMania.
I'm so glad I got to use that nickname, though. I'm so glad. But dude, this is awesome. I'm so pumped to have you guys here. So as we know in the headlines as of late, everything regarding WrestleMania weekend has been canceled or altered to the fucking extreme. Starting off with the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame getting canceled. NXT Takeover Tampa getting canceled. I have no idea what that is.
Somebody needs to put their phone, I guess, on.
But no, man. Like, I have no idea what to do with these current storylines running into NXT Takeover Tampa. You cancel this event when you have events like the first topic. We're going to start off right off the rip with it. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. With the current state of professional wrestling currently running in front of no fans and this event canceled with no plans of an alternate date set for it, what do we do with this? We've seen Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano do just about everything possible to each other. Mm-hmm. Can this stretch out another 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks and still give the payoff that everyone wants to see from this? Stefan, I'm going to start with you on this one because as some of you might not know, he is one of the hosts of What's NXT. That is his bread and butter. So I'm going to start with Jerry or Stefan, and then Jerry on this one. Where do you see happening? And again, where can we try to make right without completely spoiling these events?
Well, the question, can NXT hold this out for 12 weeks if it was necessary? Absolutely. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, these guys could fight forever and we'd all tune in. Do they have to do it? No. They can put on as good of a match on NXT television when they are cleared to do so as they could on a pay-per-view. So do it on NXT TV, and when they can finally have an NXT takeover later, have it later.
Okay. But where do you think they're still going to do it? In Tampa? Do you see it?
I can't really speculate because we don't know how long it's going to be before they can finally do it. It would make sense to go back to Tampa if they can, but you got to think they have to schedule a date, and there are going to be other, things going on that might have that venue scheduled.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Mr. Slaughter, what are your takes on this, and what other things coming out of this can you see, like especially when they're trying to set things up for the North American Championship and the tag division matches and all this stuff? Like, what do you see happening, but then still be able to do compelling TV without being straight video packages like everything has been?
I'm hoping that while we're watching this whole video package show, that maybe at the actual Full Sail or something, maybe they're recording matches to at least kind of hold us over for right now. But that's not proven. They're not saying anything about that. When it comes to TakeOver, from what I gather, from what I saw on an episode, I think it was Wrestle Talk, they were talking about how they're going to hopefully have almost like a WrestleMania type show at Madison Square Garden a couple months down the road. That's what Vince's ultimate goal is. So if that's the case, maybe we do have like a Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa fight out on a takeover show at somewhere around Madison Square Garden, like somewhere in New York, and that would just give it that big fight feel too, especially if it's something Chris Willis and I actually talked about at one point was loser leaves NXT match, because they're saying that and you too, Colin. Because that's the only way anything's gonna get resolved. Like Ciampa can easily lose the match and kind of go into semi-retirement, but he'll at least go out facing off against somebody that he came up in the business, like in this business right here with. So that'd be really a nice treat. Tag belt wise, I think the main focus right now is just Ciampa and Gargano. Otherwise, they would have had some more stuff on there. But this next NXT broadcast, I'm hoping they'll actually push something else forward other than that.
Okay, interesting points. Chris Willis, what do you see happening with this 6 women's ladder match? If they don't rebuild this pay-per-view, if they kind of cut off some of these feuds that are going on right now, obviously they're not going to cut off Gargano and Ciampa, but they could cut off the whole Undisputed Era, Grizzled Young Veterans and Broserweights type deal. With the 6 women ladder match coming up, I mean, we still have 3 qualifying matches for that, correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what do you see coming out of this now? Like, how long is this going to be postponed? Are they going to give us some of these matches in the empty arena and just have it booked so whenever they can get the shit back on the road, boom, it's advertised. We know what we're getting. We just have to wait.
Okay, I know. Originally, it was supposed to be Candice LeRae versus Martinez for the qualifying match, but it never happened. So when it comes to that fatal 6-way ladder match, I don't know if they are going to postpone it. I'm not too sure. But I was pretty surprised with the participants in the match, especially Tegan Knox. I'm surprised she's in it. She lost that steel cage match against Dakota Kai. But I was surprised that Dakota Kai was not in this. That was really weird. That was weird booking. Does Mia Yim deserve that spot? To some degree, yes and no, because she's been on a losing streak and she finally got that victory a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really the wrong call because Dakota Kai right now has really been red hot. The two females in NXT have been red hot is really Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai. Now, we're not sure where...
Io Shirai before she got injured.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Jerry. I'm surprised that Bianca Belair is not in this match so far. I'm not too sure. But she's gotten every single opportunity in NXT takeovers. She's always dropped the ball. Do you want to put her in this match and she finally gets another opportunity? It's pretty much over for Bianca Belair. Just put her to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown and give that victory to like Dakota Kai. Maybe she gets like a second chance opportunity to get in the ladder match. We're not, like, honestly, I'm not too sure about this. Tell you the truth, Colin, about this 6-way ladder match. But I do want to bring something up with the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, if you don't mind.
No, go for it.
I've been saying this for like weeks and weeks. This match should be inside of Hell in a Cell. But looking at it now, you can't really do a Hell in a Cell match with no people in the arena. You can't. You cannot. Because that would be weird as shit.
That's weirder than a red light.
that'd be very, very awkward. I agree with you there. So, but I want to touch on one thing you said real quick. You said that Bianca should go to either Raw or SmackDown. Can NXT afford that after Shayna leaving right now, though?
Honestly, it really wouldn't hurt for Bianca Belair to go to SmackDown. I say put her on. No, hear me out, guys. The NXT women's division is already solid as it is. It's already solid. Because SmackDown really needs some better women on SmackDown. Monday Night's Raw women's division is pretty much dead. Have you seen the Elimination Chamber? Exactly. Put Bianca on SmackDown to help that women's division on SmackDown.
I feel Stefan wants to interject on something real quick.
Go. Put your stank on it.
Right?
Go ahead, Stefan. I know you got something on your mind. I bet it's about a particular woman. Go for it.
Can afford to lose Bianca Belair right now. I don't think the NXT women's division is as strong as it used to be. Losing Shayna Baszler was a huge blow to the NXT women's division. Like, Bianca Belair needs to stay where she's at, and she belongs in the ladder match. She hasn't had a match yet to qualify. I'm sure when she does, she will.
Mm-hmm.
She'll probably be the 6th match, honestly.
So I'm not really worried about Bianca Belair right now.
Oh, I do want to add something. I want to add one more thing. Is Io Shirai 100% to go? Is she want to be in this ladder match?
No.
I don't know. I ain't no doctor. I ain't her doctor.
But that'd be it too. Chances are, if it was
TV.
probably Bianca Belair versus Io Shirai in the 6th match.
But considering that Bianca Belair eliminated her from that No One Contenders Battle Royal that gave Bianca Belair the title match in the first place at Portland, yeah, you got history right there.
Mm-hmm.
True story. Mr. Foster, what are your thoughts on the whole scenario with NXT TakeOver and what, basically what I've asked the rest of the 3 gentlemen, if you just want to clean up and give your thoughts on all this, because this is a big blow to all of us. As you guys know, we are part of the NX team, and we do predictions on this stuff, and that shit is points, and points is precious. and so
Precious.
we want to be number 1 precious. So this screws our whole league up if you all think about it. So I mean, we at least get 1 point, which is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, which we'll touch on in a little bit. But Mr. Foster, take it away.
Oh, good grief almighty. Where do we begin? Well, first off, takeover card, it seemed as simple as this. You had the six-pack women challenge, you had a North American title match with Keith Lee versus probably Damian Priest, based on the actions that we saw most recently. You, of course, had the triple threat tag team match between Undisputed Era and the grizzled young veterans, and of course, the Broserweights. And then, of course, you had Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole, baby. And then, of course, you had Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. And I have to agree on the stipulation. One must leave NXT. Who is NXT? Now, as far as where I could see this going, I like the Madison Square Garden idea. But the thing is, when it comes to TakeOver, anywhere in that region, there's only one building it's been under, and that's the Barclays Center. I don't know if the Barclays Center would so much agree to that. Honestly, I could see them literally setting up this TakeOver that was supposed to happen for WrestleMania weekend during SummerSlam weekend. It is a huge, huge blow that we are not getting this WrestleMania weekend. Not just because about the league and points, but also, let's face it, gentlemen, the number one event of WrestleMania weekend is TakeOver, bar none.
It's every pay-per-view weekend, bro.
Yes, but I'm talking about the biggest weekend of the year where people are like, WrestleMania is the granddaddy on the mall. Fuck off. It's freaking quantity over quality. As far as what they could do with this, I mean, they gave us 3 incredible video packages, 2 regarding matches that would have been on this takeover, and 1 regarding, of course, that would be on another takeover. We don't know what the status of that one's going to be. I could definitely see them still pushing out Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa after the insanity of an ending we got. I could see them doing like an empty arena type match just to blow off some heat, and one of them getting like a cheap win, but necessarily it's not the end of a feud. It leads closer towards the eventual match at TakeOver. It's got to be under some sort of crazy circumstance where people finally can see it. So yeah, I can't see no other way of this ending. 3 stages of hell, Hell in a Cell, or just a straight up Hell in a Cell match. Please be a pure silver Hell in a Cell, because Triple H I don't think is a dumbass like Vince with the red crate of hate. But anyway, hey, I'm just pointing out facts, people. Velveteen Dream, he's the most original product under NXT. Adam Cole is now the longest reigning NXT champion. There's no doubt in my mind Dream was going to probably be the next champion win the title. Cole, he's done everything under WWE. He's going to be off to even bigger things. And the women's division, I don't think Bianca Belair needs to leave. But Bianca Belair has an opportunity after opportunity in multi-person and single title matches. I feel like with this being a stipulation type match, almost like a Money in the Bank type scenario, yeah, I could see her being in it and potentially winning it. And as far as North American title, I almost feel like Keith Lee is pigeonholed by this because I always saw him contending for the actual NXT championship. This North American title never truly had like the right champion, in my opinion, with it. And the longest reigning champ with it, I think, was Roderick Strong, actually.
I think
so.
That's correct.
When I look at this entire NXT TakeOver situation, there's no really wrong way to continue building it because I know NXT can do it. We've seen it for the video packages and production, as you pointed out last night in debate, Stefan. But yeah, at this point, if they're really trying to push Madison Square Garden, don't do it SummerSlam weekend because clearly usually do that for Barclays. And I could definitely see them trying to do that maybe some point early in the summer if allowed to. But a takeover under any circumstance should never, in my opinion, ever go in front of no audience.
Well, speaking of, if you think a takeover should not go in front of no audience, we're going to roll into WrestleMania going in front of no audience. And the rumors that it has or will be a taped product on different locations. There's been that rumor going around as well. So, oh God. I'm gonna start with Jerry on this one. I can see
the one with the most limited WWE knowledge.
But no, that doesn't matter. It's the fact that they are going to present WrestleMania, which is their biggest show of the year, in front of nobody.
I've already said this in chat rooms. I don't think they should be calling it WrestleMania at this point because WrestleMania is spectacle. It's lights. It's the huge crowd. Without any of those things, it's just a fancy house show with a nifty name, and that's it. So if they're planning on doing this whole thing like just in different locations, That's going to be interesting too, because I want to see actually how the card would be stacked. Would it be almost all of the Raw matches on one card and all the SmackDown matches on another card? Like which title will be defended on which night or which place? But either way, it's not really going to matter because there's going to be no crowd response to it whatsoever. This whole event is just going to feel cold. It's going to feel dead on arrival.
Definitely. Mr. Foster?
I mean, he simply said what I was basically thinking about in my short live update. I mean, yeah, how you handle this. Do you do one night Raw, one night SmackDown? I mean, I will give them credit. Praise the Lord. We don't got the freaking Dre or the Overeat Battle Royales, so I'll give them that much. As far as doing it on different locations, the only reason they're doing it is because of the restrictions about you can only have, I think, like 10 people, if that, in a venue. It's going to be interesting how they handle that, considering how much of, I imagine, Tampa is going to be shut down and quarantined. So what building do you use? Because your only home base there is the Performance Center. You're going to literally use like the Full Sail Arena. Are you going to use like that actual university venue that NXT has used a couple of times? It's weird to think about. And the fact is, once again, quantity over quality. They want to do originally 16 matches, and right now it looks like there's 8, maybe 9. It's a weird circumstance, but regardless, I cannot get behind this because WrestleMania is literally for the fans, by the fans, to the fans, expected for them. Mm-hmm. Everybody in WWE practically already pissed off about this shit. How you think 80,000 people that wanted to go to this field? It seriously should have been postponed. I would have literally rearranged the pay-per-view calendar year and just replaced SummerSlam with WrestleMania, because I can't imagine a year without WrestleMania, but you're trying to do it multiple days, under different venues, pre-recorded? What the fuck? No. This is the worst idea and approach I've ever seen. And I know, I get it. It's all about the money. It's all about getting that insurance. Oh, and Vince is saying, you don't even want to do this. Well, apparently the money must still talk. I just cannot get behind this at all. And it makes me really, really disappointed if this is the direction they're going. So, and it seems like they're changing day by day. So I'm not going to assume anything at this point. But as of right now, this is a horrible, horrible idea.
Absolutely. Chris Willis?
And fuck Gronk, who cares?
When the announcement was announced, when Vince McMahon was not going to postpone WrestleMania, I was not surprised whatsoever because Vince, his mentality is the show must go on. Is it really going to be weird? There's going to be no fans in the audience for WrestleMania? It's going to be weird as shit. Hell, I've been watching some wrestling videos with like empty arena matches and whatnot, and let the commentators do all the talking. Like I recently just watched that Wrestle Talk, screw the coronavirus for 2.5 hours. Like it was very interesting because of the commentators. It wasn't the best, but when there was no crowd, it's like, okay, I can get used to it. But but I know that's an independent wrestling show. But when it comes to like the big leagues, it's going to be very weird without a crowd. Hell, I was even talking to Sydney about this a couple days ago. I think they're not going to do like an empty arena. Maybe the wrestlers want to bring their families involved. They can kind of be that crowd for WrestleMania. I don't know. That's just a thought. Like we got like 2 more weeks till WrestleMania, to my knowledge. Like maybe they might want to bring a couple people to the crowd. Look what AEW did this past week. They brought some of the wrestlers. Go on, Jerry. Yes, go ahead.
The only problem is with that is like fire marshals are going to be all over that shit, especially with the quarantine going on right now. Yeah, and they're probably going to allow so many people in the building.
Yeah, and that's why they have pyro. And it doesn't matter how many laser lights you do. It's not going to change the fact this is just an empty building with light bright showcase.
Okay. Okay, where was I?
You were talking about maybe bringing in.
I was talking about AEW when they had a little bit of the wrestlers, just chatting, with the action going on. At least they really wasn't shooting the shit. That was pretty cool and very interesting. I'm surprised AEW is doing it, but I know we're talking about WrestleMania here. Maybe some of the wrestlers from, maybe want to be the crowd audience for WrestleMania. I don't know. That's just a thought I just came up with just now.
But the funny thing is, Chris, you mentioned AEW, and it looks like WWE's trying to do approaches like other companies. I mean, let's think about it. This isn't the first two-day event in wrestling history. Y'all remember Wrestle Kingdom? Shout out to my fellow NJPW fans. And at least that had a congruent story going across those two-day events and was more of an idea before it just, we're just going to shot this because it sounds like such good shit, even though there's like 2 weeks. Just saying.
I know that was going to be a different topic for the two-night event. I know that was going to be a different topic. I want to say this now. When I heard this was going to be a 2-day event, I was like, okay. But when I was hearing more people talking about this a little bit more, it's like, damn, this is going to suck because NXT Takeover got replaced. So I'm looking at it now. If they really do this, they are going to do a 2-day event. It's going to be pretty weird as shit. It really is.
Right. But again, you're also talking about presentation, so it kind of goes also with the topic. It's almost like a topic and a subtopic in a way. But
yeah, that's all I can give you. That's all I can really say.
Stefan?
Yeah.
Okay. So if all of this is going to be pre-recorded, then why is it a 2-day process? It's a 2-day process because they know it's going to be in front of nobody, and it's going to be boring as fuck to watch for 7.5 hours. So they have to do it over 2 days. Canceling NXT was a matter of NXT not having any importance to Vince McMahon. The numbers that he gets money-wise for the event are not important. He's not worried about the insurance that he's got on the event. The real event is the overall umbrella of the WrestleMania weekend. And he has to try to at least preserve that, because if he doesn't try, he's not going to get a payout on the insurance that he's got over all the money he's put into this.
Mm-hmm.
So, NXT, it's no hard feelings, but he just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care.
That's the truth. It's not a hard feeling. That's the truth.
Hard facts.
So, WrestleMania is not trying to take the spot of NXT on Saturday night. It's just necessary. It's necessary. Nobody wants to sit and watch 8 hours of no crowd. 4 hours.
I could barely tolerate an hour of it.
Yeah, so
considering you only got that crappy
they could try doing what AEW did and have wrestlers being around ringside. I think somebody brought up that idea on Aaron's live show the other night when we did a live.
No.
There's all kinds of things they could do. Technology allows for so many possibilities, but nobody seems to be trying to think outside the box.
Did you have the digital idea, just kind of like the 2K crowd?
A couple of digital ideas. Have the Trons that they use for the entranceways, have them surround the ring area and have fake people or real people with real reactions that are being videotaped elsewhere. Something.
Holographic crowd.
Or have a crowd that's digitally done the way that they do the graphics around the wrestlers when they come out.
Well, that only takes place in virtual reality, to be fair, but I see what you're saying.
No, look, it takes place when you watch it on television.
True. And that's really only matter because that's going to be the only place we have to watch this anyway.
Yeah, there's not going to be anybody there live that's like, oh, where's the giant bulldog above Roman Reigns that I'm used to seeing on television?
Oh, fuck that.
Well, where's that giant thing that hangs over the crowd that puts up graphics and announcements for SmackDown? Like, where's that thing at? Well, how's it not falling on people? Because it's fake, folks. And a fake crowd done with digital graphics for cameras that know where the fake crowd's supposed to be, and they can do that in indoor venues. It's better than nothing, man. They can control the cheers, they can control the boos. It can be exactly what they want it to look and sound like crowd-wise, and then they can just do the wrestling event in the ring. So there are options. They just have to be willing to accept that idea that, you know, you're kind of faking a crowd, but it's better than no crowd.
Yeah, about to say that kind of forward thinking.
Anyway, yeah, WrestleMania being 2 days, it sucks, but it's better than 8 hours on the same day, and we weren't going to get NXT either way. Like I said, Vince McMahon just doesn't care about NXT. It was easy to cancel it. It makes him look better in response. He's like, okay, I'll cancel NXT, but WrestleMania, that's that thing, man. Like, I can't just cancel that. He has to wait on the state or the county to cancel it for him. Now, if the entire nation goes under a 2-week quarantine where nobody gets to leave their house, wrestlers got to go home and not leave their house. So WrestleMania could still yet get canceled, and I'm sure he's hoping for that because he's got a lot more money to be made if he can postpone the event to, say, SummerSlam weekend and do Summer Wrestle Slamomania,
And that'll be in Boston, won't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and make your money that way.
That'd make some big money up in Boston.
Actually, I would have the event and still have SummerSlam its own separate thing because you're going to make that SummerSlam money either way.
Mhm.
I'm not sure it's going to be any bigger by making it WrestleMania. You know what I mean? With that example, it's better to go ahead and put WrestleMania on because maybe you can get ad revenue.
Summermania?
Yeah, just make SummerSlam a house show like you do with Starrcade. It feels like SummerSlam's not even as big as WrestleMania anymore.
Hey, at least Vince McMahon got what he wanted. At least Roman Reigns will not get booed.
Well, there are other ideas. There have got to be things that nobody has thought of doing, and I'm sure somebody in there will. Because even when 90% of the time it's the shittiest idea, a lot of times WWE comes up with the fucking furthest out there idea that nobody would think. And it
Mark
just
Henry
comes
and
out.
Mae Young.
Oh my God, giving birth to a goddamn man.
Jerry.
The stuff that Vince McMahon
It's
pulled
a
out of
hit.
his ass.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
The Katie Vick storyline.
Oh, Jesus.
Odd.
So I was watching.
Memorial Monday Night Raw.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to watch some NJPW after this is over.
So I was watching SmackDown earlier, and I was like thinking, I'm like, Jesus, like, why can't they just like hook up with Progressive and get like, I don't know, 3,000 or however many seats or where they're going to be, like flow cutouts, and just stack them in the chairs, and then freaking get, we have soundboards. So a dude hits a crossbody and slams in, we can get a ooh sound through the crowd. Like
the Bailey buddies.
you know what I mean? Like just something.
Like play Rock really 2 men, 80,000 of
And
them.
this is what I would do with Mania. And I know Vince is probably waiting for local government to pull the plug because, look, if it's down to 10 people, I'm sorry, you can't do a show with 10 people. You can't do it. It's impossible. Between ring crew and announcer, no, it doesn't fucking work.
Domino's was barely working on 10 people earlier.
I know. I stopped in earlier to get a pizza. I stopped in to get pizza at Domino's earlier, and the sign on the front of the door, it says no more than 2 customers in a store at one time.
Yep.
So, so I would cut out Extreme Rules and put WrestleMania there, and that's normally July.
Wow.
And then, boom, book that right till SummerSlam.
Yep.
Do back-to-back big events.
You don't mind if I say something about this? Extreme Rules is going to be in California this year. You know what? I like that idea because Extreme Rules do suck. So
Chris Willis wins.
But normally,
The July
Extreme-
preview always sucks. It's not Extreme Rules, it's Stomping Grounds. It's not Stomping Grounds, it's Great Balls of Fire.
All right, so which one's in June then?
On Aaron.
Money in the Bank, I think.
that's in May.
It was brought up, but it makes sense because that's one of the lowest pay-per-views of the year because they don't do anything like they used to, and it makes sense. It's in the summer. It's when people are going to be coming out of this stuff real good and want to be getting back into shit, and you hit them with a double fucking whammy. You know what I mean? Boom.
Yeah, that's
You got
smart
Mania,
business sense. I'm
and
with
then
you.
you got SummerSlam back to back, and then you can build something real quick because those are 2 big matches. So if let's say Drew McIntyre, when he does beat Brock Lesnar, boom, we set up right into another feud that's gonna, he's feuded with other people in the past. Something else could come up. You know what I mean? It's inevitable to see what could happen, but SummerSlam's always big. It always will be. No, I know you said it's not as big as it used to be, but still, it's why if you're gonna if WrestleMania has to not be in its spot, why fuck with the rest of the main 4 pay-per-views and bump them from their slot? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Last year.
I did. There was a couple of moments, but let's be honest. The biggest moment was the Fiend.
All right, what's up, Stefan?
I think you guys are planning way too far ahead. Like, I think even Extreme Rules is beyond the scope of where this is. Like, this is not necessarily something that's going to take 2 or 3 months before they can have an event. Like, if we stay under the bell curve, then this could be something that is over in a month or less. You know, they're talking about a full quarantine that's only 2 weeks. That's to keep it below the bell curve. Because if you keep it down like that, everybody gets better at home, and then you get out into the public and nobody gets it anymore. So there's a possibility that this will all be possible in late April or early May. And you're talking, take the first available weekend, the first available Sunday in whatever venue you can, and start selling tickets and be the first company to hold a live event after the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like they were with the 9/11 at the SmackDown show.
Yeah. I like that idea. Chris?
That's not bad.
Yeah, that came from somebody in the
I was thinking, I don't know. I think this idea is going to suck. There was a rumor that WrestleMania was going to be moved to Saudi Arabia, but I guess they didn't want to do that.
Bad, Chris. Bad.
But you don't care about the E.
The greatest WrestleMania, folks.
The greatest WrestleMania.
Noah,
But that would have never happened because of like these travel bans.
Noah, put it down.
Don't you fucking ever
Noah,
say
put the gun
that
down.
sentence
Noah.
again.
Noah, put the gun down.
I know he's not serious because he's only got one finger up.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a double barrel thing.
Oh, trust me.
Always
Sorry,
double.
I was like, wait, do I want to go all in? Maybe just enough to, like, you know, be incapacitated during that
was
time.
really bad to say. You guys would have murdered me coming all the way to Cali.
Ah,
And Colin would have kicked my ass and take my European Championship. Like, well, this.
Dude, hey, don't get me wrong. You bet your ass I'd hit In-N-Out Burger on my way fucking out. You know, that's your ass.
I keep hearing about that place. I gotta freaking go there one of these days if I ever visit Cali. But anyway, we're going way off. You brought a death note to this that's worse than coronavirus. Thanks, Chris. Moving on. Ooh.
I mean, look. So what should they do then? Do you think they should just scrap every match and just throw some type of super show together, pull out of their ass, and then just save it for the next time we can do this, or what? Like,
Some things have to end now. Bray Wyatt versus John Cena has to end now.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of
Some things they can wait for.
Yeah, that's the thing. They kind of put themselves in a corner with some of this stuff where you really can't wait. So it's a really hard decision.
That's what she said.
like, you know, as of tonight, we got the contract signing between Roman and Goldberg,
Which I did not watch.
We got. So, I mean, this match could kind of wait if you think about it, because there was really no build to it. It's just Roman walking out and being like,
I'm next.
I'm next.
That's another discussion for another day. What happens to actually qualifying for a match?
It's like he just said he's next. Anybody who's ever next for Goldberg is the next person that gets beat.
And this Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair match, this really can't. I mean, it can wait a little bit, but I mean, the build for it's been okay so far. Them showing up on NXT or showing up on Raw, and you know, I thought it's been decently done so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, Rhea must win. There's no other.
Here's the thing. I'm actually thinking Charlotte Flair is going to win.
No.
It's not gonna be the greatest thing ever, but she could very well just win the match just for the sake of winning the match and relinquish the belt, just so she can say she was NXT champion again.
But it almost devalues the NXT title though if you do that, Jerry.
Like Vince gives a shit about that. But then you also have Charlotte say, okay, I'll give NXT back their belt, but I give Shayna Baszler after she beats Becky Lynch.
Look, guys. All right.
Now you got Stephanie going. You talk about Rhea.
Any of these matches built on a Royal Rumble win don't have to happen immediately.
No.
None of that. Because the storyline here is they get their match at WrestleMania no matter when that WrestleMania is. Things like Randy Orton versus Edge might need to come to a conclusion before they can have WrestleMania. Things like Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano probably should happen before they can have an NXT takeover. I mean, I feel like those two can manage to hold it out, but it's kind of getting to a fever pitch. And as far as the match, I totally disagree on Hell in a Cell. Not only do I not want to see that god-awful red Hell in a Cell again, but I think between these two right now, it makes more sense for an I Quit match where loser leaves NXT.
Let me ask you this, since I'm sitting here with you. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Could you actually see that actually being put on the WrestleMania card just to go ahead and get it knocked out?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was ranked like the number one feud and number one matches over the past couple of years in PWI. So there is an audience for Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and it could be a potential show stealer.
And I really like that stipulation.
I'm kind of surprised that Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair is still on WrestleMania. Kind of.
That Rhea needs to win.
Wouldn't be.
My idea, I had it written down because me and John Schartzer and Chris Mace were supposed to do a fantasy Tampa thing, but we kind of called it because that's everything. But my pick for the stipulation for Gargano and Ciampa was a loser leaves town or leaves NXT match, but it was inside a modified Lion's Den. And these two dudes would just beat the piss out of each other in a confined, smaller cage that is damn hard to get out of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that gimmick cage is more appropriate for Matt Riddle to bring back.
Oh, that'd be insane.
They don't have to call it a Lion's Den, but something similar to that size.
The bro cage.
If that makes sense.
Well, considering how William Regal reinvented the steel cage at NXT Takeover Toronto 2, I could kind of see them doing something like that, maybe with a one-of-a-kind structure.
We saw Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Insert picture.
Picture to queue.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I honestly think that they should scrap some matches, do a mega, type of, not Blood Money, but Blood Money-esque type of, it's not Blood Money because it's here in the States. You know what I mean? So, a super show, I don't know. I feel like them still, I understand why they are doing what they're doing. There is, this crazy shit going on in our country and around the world. And they are just trying to do stuff to take our minds off of it, and we're sitting here just trashing the shit. But I get why they're doing it, but sometimes, look, man, you got to look at fucking perspective. And just, if we just wait a little bit, how much bigger of, everything is it going to be? Think of Drew.
People want it more.
And think of Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Championship for the first time in front of nobody.
Yeah.
Imagine Rhea Ripley beating Charlotte Flair in front of nobody. Imagine Drew McIntyre beating Brock Lesnar in front of, let's just say, 5,000 people. Just that much of a change. Or even 500 people.
I mean, Drew Galloway beat iconic Matt Hardy back in Impact Wrestling, and Impact's crowds are like, what, 150 people or some odd number like that? And that even felt big. So, I mean...
Still,
yeah,
even that. Even that would be better
The
than nothing.
thing is, you're taking away the value of the moment if you do these in front of nobody. Even if you have, I don't know, 100,000 people watching from home. It's not like they can hear them. I feel you. I feel your energy. You gave me the momentum you did. But
why are you doing Rusev's voice?
Right?
Whatever happened to Rusev?
Shots
Even on the
I had to dislodge the misery that is going to come from these moments that will mean truly nothing because you don't have the main piece there. So, yeah.
What if WrestleMania? I did. There was an article I read, but I don't believe it. I heard like not New Japan, but Japan fans can come back to watch wrestling. There was an article on the group chat, Noah.
Yeah, I did see that. But I see that's only a few Japanese promotions locally.
Okay, I know it might sound stupid. What if WrestleMania got moved to the Tokyo Dome at WrestleMania in Japan?
No, because fucking British people can't have a WrestleMania.
I'm about to say, I gotta agree with Colin on this because when it comes to the WWE, besides America, their next high portion of passionate wrestling fans, it's definitely UK. There's a reason why NXT UK exists.
You know, a lot of people have been waiting for that for years,
and they're still begging for it.
But there's time zone issues. But yet we can do Saudi Arabia shows, which Saudi Arabia, depending on what part of the country you're in, is 7 or 8 hours ahead of us. When England is only 5, but they don't do major pay-per-views over there because of time restraints. But on a fucking Thursday at noon, I can watch a Saudi show.
Or I could just masturbate to something and actually feel excitement.
What?
I'm gonna go in this general direction now.
With that.
Hey, Brazzers endorse WWE. Why the fuck not?
So with that, oh God, that was wow, Noah. I was not expecting that was weird.
That's a weird finish.
I dropped the bomb, but someone had to. When you brought up Loving, I was like, I don't want to hear any more of that shit.
And you better say your prayers twice tonight.
They're already going on my head.
So, all right, man. With Noah's shocking finish, we are going to we're going to wrap this up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let's see. We're going to start with good brother Chris. Where can people find you? Where can they look you up, etc.?
Christopher Willis on Facebook, Chris J. Willis 86 on Instagram, GB Chris Willis on Twitter. Follow my AEW Nations group on Facebook. I think we just hit 26K not too long ago, so it is what it is.
Nice, man. 26K. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot. Fucking hell of a lot. So. Oh man, sorry guys. It's a little late at night. Mr. Jerry Slaughter, where can people find you?
No, that's not where we do things anymore.
I know, but that's true. All right. Stefan, where can people find you?
Thank you.
Noah.
Someone just tell people where they're at. I don't care who goes.
Follow me on Twitter at Stefan R. Osborne. That's StefanRosborne. As always, all them R's stand for restricted. You can also find the gentleman over here on Twitter.
0_JSJ and my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point!
Yeah.
Don't forget it!
I'm swinging at that mane to a shirt. But then we also have the Aftermatch Wrestling Facebook page, and Colin, he runs the Aftermatch_Wrestling Instagram and Aftermatch_Rest on Twitter. We leave the ling out, whatever that means.
We take the ling out of wrestling.
We take the ling out of wrestling, whatever that means. Really, we don't know.
Yeah, you can find us on our YouTube page at Aftermatch Space Wrestling. It's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch
Wrestling. We haven't gotten to that in a while.
Yeah, that's where we review NXT every week. We do that on Thursday mornings live.
What's NXT?
Yeah, that's what's NXT. We also review NXT UK every week. That's sometime on Friday, and that is taped. But we have guests on the big screen, so if you want to join us and review a future episode of NXT UK, come find us. We're there.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Now comes the money. This is when Noah does his shit.
All
Why am
right.
I always last?
Because Noah,
Hey, this is the main event, not
the main
pre-show like you normally are, Noah. Go with it.
look.
Oh, I forgot.
This
That's
is
the
the
running
current
gag,
event.
even though that no longer is a thing. But okay. All right. Well, first off, Colin, this was a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry if I went off the rails, but I have my moments. With that being said, till next time, and goodbye, Chris. I look forward to facing you again and winning. But if y'all want to know more about me beyond card games and rants and just why am I wearing this gold, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling, not just
waffles.
And waffles.
wrestling. I like waffles too, but come on, you know me. Wrestling is always going to be
Mountain Dew.
that too. You know what? Maybe I should just make a lexicon of what I am. Anyway, so if y'all want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, the Five Brands of WWE or New Japan Pro Wrestling, my number one, AEW, NWA, Ring of Honor, Impact. The list goes on and on. Look me up on Twitter, nerdq.com/Noah Takes my Twitter page. I think I just broke 2,800. I don't know how the hell that happened. Or at Foster1916 for those that hate URLs. It's also at Foster1916 on Instagram. I'll give you a nice hello, something to cheer you up, something to spark your day, moments, thoughts that I find in wrestling, and from my journeys in wrestling as well. You can also find me on YouTube. I have a simple YouTube channel. Every week, you'll find me doing 2 series now. Hashtag 205 Life Matters, usually with the holiday Chris Mace. We are the Simple Holiday. And we do it pretty much on the weekends when we can. Also, I started a new series now that discusses AEW, Dark, Dynamite, and everything else in between with fans like you. And you're welcome to join me on that anytime too. It's recorded every week, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned because next week I will have Gary Joe from Pro Wrestling Discussions and maybe 1 or 2 other guests. If you haven't figured out by now the reason I'm even on this video feed or in YouTube, it's simple. Support No DQ. The reason I got into YouTube. For every dad to No DQ family, thank you, Stefan and Jerry, encouraging me to become, well, basically a YouTube creator. And of course, Aaron Riff for allowing me to be part of this crazy family and seeing what it's expanded into, including other divisions like Team NDQ and, of course, the NX team. For life, gentlemen. So support my friends. Buy a shirt, buy a tapestry, buy a sticker, buy a pillow. Just do it. NoDQ.com/merch tapes in the store. Follow NoDQ.com on all your social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section and everything. And predictions link too. But they also have polls, calls, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps. Sexy female. You name it, it's there. I told you they encourage browsers. And to be fair, NoDQ is 20 years old. Anyway, it's all there for you. Primarily wrestling from WWE, but a little bit of AEW and independent wrestling too. And of course, supporting pro wrestling, folks, because that's at the heart of all of us and really where wrestling starts. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets for big and small. And let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, 100% authentic, unscripted, unapologetic wrestling community together. Simple as that. And also, everybody, just stay safe, happy, and healthy.
And wash your hands, bitch.
Right? Right?
Yep.
Clean your dirty self.
Wash your ass.
Wash ass.
Wash your ass.
Now I want to hear Sheamus say that. Wash your ass.
Or Becky. But anyways, all right. I'm the Cleaver Colin Andrew. You guys can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ Colin Andrew. Follow me on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. And keep supporting my YouTube channel, The Cleaver Colin Andrew, where I just today passed 200 subscribers. So
Congratulations.
keep clicking the likes, keep
They're
clicking
all
the
doing
shares,
better than us.
and keep on pushing. So if you guys are watching this on any other format, head on over to there. This is Where's the Beef, episode number 8. Jerry, Stefan, Noah, Chris, thank you guys so much for joining me. This is fun. And it's always cool being on the other side of things instead of being the guest, being the host. So it's nice asking questions instead of just answering stuff. So, boys, let's do this again soon. Support all these guys' channels again, Aftermatch Wrestling, and we have Noah Foster 210 and Chris Willis 86. Check them all out. It's good stuff from the NX team. We are the NX team and Team Aftermatch. We'll catch you next time. Stay safe and wash your shit. Peace out.
Wash your asses.
Have a good night, folks.
See ya.
Eat soup.
Thank you.
Meatloaf.